It's now, and I want to watch. It's important, right? It's now, and I want to watch.
And welcome to the Sunday live stream. Sorry about the brief delay there. Solidarity, everybody, this Socialist Sunday. I'm your humble host, Lefty. Thanks for joining us and choosing to see out your weekend on My Left Eye. Please do hit thumbs up as you join us on stream. Divinia, nice to see you. Doc Davies as well. Aaron Gray as well. How are we all doing this eve? Do let me know. Quite a lot to get through as well. Got some RAM-packed broadcast software here. I'll get into the Fondue Lounge if you'll care to join me in just a few moments, and I'll go through what's coming up. But of course, we always like to kick off with excuse me. A massive thanks to all of the people who support us on My Left Eye. This is the current list of members, 102 now. Sorry, got to update the goal just as we came on stream. But yes, 102 towards the target of 250. And thanks to those who gifted memberships recently, renewed your own. Thanks for all the super chats, stickers, and super thanks as well as contributions on the Buy Me a Coffee page. We do appreciate the support, wherever it does come from. Thank you very much, everybody. You are indeed a good bunch.
Socialists. Oh my God.
Any channel updates? I'm just thinking. Oh, we are going to be adding chapters to live streams. Now, one or two of you have been asking if we can release more segments of live streams. Long story short, we're unable to. We're aware that other left-wing outlets, Novara, etc., do things like that. But we are, alas, way behind Novara in terms of reach, budget, and amount of time available. However, to make sure that you can navigate your way through live streams better, we are going to add chapters. We also don't want to oversaturate the number of videos that we have, or indeed draw views away from live streams as well. So that's the latest on that one. Thank you to Harvey, Ranger and the Supersonics, who you can hear in the background our resident Sunday live stream jazz quartet, actually. There's no poll on the stream to plug, so I think I've done all of the relative bits and pieces, self-promotion, and thanks, and so on.
Can you dig it?
Okay, we'll be saying hello to Keith in just a moment.
Hello.
Just still working on a couple of niggling technical problems, bear with. Had some buffering over here, that should be all well and good now. Yeah, maybe some of you are here to avoid the football scores, but that's all out of the window now. Thanks for the spoilers in the chat. Big Jerry, good evening to you. Hope you're well.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Into the Fondue Lounge very promptly then, and we'll see what's coming up.
It's a quality item, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was kind of a hint not to put football spoilers in the chat, just in case anybody didn't get it. But here we are once again in the Fondue Lounge with Keith and co. What's coming up on stream? We'll be kicking off with Nandy's appearance on Laura Kussenberg. I won't be going through the whole show. Of course, we always leave that to the excellent work of Helena at No Justice and Kevin Logan. We'll be taking a look at Nandy's interview. This is all concerning the defence spending review. Regular viewers will know that I have a particular dislike of Lisa Nandy, and let's see how she gets on. That'll be a first time viewing for me as well. Lots of protest and counter-protest this week, more significantly, of course, all across the country. People have been standing up to the far right. We'll be taking a look at that. There was also a massive protest today in London, Edgeware Road, concerning Israel rolling into town to sell their stolen land. Yes, the land that they've stolen in the West Bank and in Gaza. They're in London to flog it off. There have been protests against that as well. Catching up with some other UK politics as well, including an update on the trial at Woolwich Crown Court this week, where unfortunately we saw a great injustice. 4 of the Filton 25 protesters sentenced, ranging from 4.5 to 8.5 year sentences, or over 8.5 years, 8 years, 8 months to be exact. A bit more about that as well. But it does have to be said, there was a great showing out today all across the country in standing up to the far right with those counter-protests. And if you attended yourself, of course, we'd love to hear from you. Do let us know in chat. Bookmark with a couple of comedy clips either end, bookended that is. The first of which we'll get on to in just a few moments. Okay, we'll see how long the party keeps going for. This weekly event might not last too much longer. We'll catch up with Keith and everybody a little bit later. First though, we're going to start with Tom Walker, aka Jonathon Pye, for the first opening comedy clip and his take on the news this week that apparently Elon Musk even is now worth apparently $1 trillion. It's not true. It's not real. But it is a disgusting amount of money nonetheless. I won't go into all the ins and outs, but we touched on that last stream as well, but this is going to be Jonathon Pye's take. So just another reminder as well, of course, Jonathon Pye is a character played by Tom Walker. The character's views don't necessarily align with the creator and actor, similar to Steve Coogan and Alan Partridge. Anyway, Jonathon Pye, there's a link in the description. Go and subscribe.
As Elon Musk becomes the world's first trillionaire, here's Steve to crunch some numbers. The world's first trillionaire. I suppose that's just inflation, isn't it, really? What is a trillion? Is it like, it's like 10,000 billions? It's 1,000 billions? Is that all? And that's in dollars. A million millions. That's what a billion is, 1 million times $1 million. Now that does sound ridiculous. I think Musk made at least $250 billion on Friday, or 250.
Sorry if it's frozen on screen. I'll remedy this immediately. Fucking hell, it's been a bit temperamental today, the old broadcast software. Sort this out, just give me 1 second. Apologies. Right, I think I've resolved this now. I did have my reservations about loading too much onto the broadcast software, but certain people didn't want to listen, did they, Philip?
$50 billion on Friday, or 250,000 million. It does sound better when you do it like that, doesn't it? 250,000 million. It's not a bad day at the office. That's quite a good line, that. I looked it up, right? It's enough money to completely eradicate extreme poverty worldwide for a year. But if he gave away $250,000 million today, he'd still be as rich as he was on Friday morning. And I know you don't become a trillionaire by giving your money away, but, you know, I mean, to imagine having billions and billions of pounds and waking up every single morning and not thinking, right, how can I help? You know, how could you not look at your bank balance and think, I'm going to try and save the world today. I'm going to buy a couple of really nice houses and a Lamborghini and a pointless yacht, and then I'm going to try and cure cancer and save the lesser spotted leopard from extinction while I'm at it. How could you not do that? Not how can I make more money, not how can I change the system in my favour, not how can I persuade poor people that me paying tax is bad for the economy, not how much rage baiting can I fit in today, how much can I piss off the libtards today, or how can I sell more aluminium trash panzers. What's wrong with him?
Aluminium trash panzers. Referring to the Cybertruck catastrophe. The absolute monstrosity that was the Cybertruck.
Are you joking? 10 years ago, Elon Musk was bragging about how we'd all have electric cars on Mars. 10 years later, he's bragging about how you can create your own AI child pornography.
Well, it appears the technical difficulties... I can't talk tonight. I swear I'm sober. I'm drinking tea. From without and within. Graham, good to see you in chat. Glad that everything came good once you reloaded. Had a couple of buffering problems here. This will improve as we get through the stream and jettison clips that we're not going to use. It's just a bit overloaded at the moment. Phil, can I talk to you over by the industrial waste compactor while the video is on, please?
About how you can create your own AI child pornography on Grok whilst openly promoting far-right parties across Europe, including the AfD, which is as near Germany as got to the Nazis since, well, the Nazis. The guy pays Tommy Robinson's legal bills. He speaks at his rallies. Last year, Musk was suggesting that America should liberate the Brits from our tyrannical government, suggesting the king should recall Parliament, the richest man in the world, calling on an unelected monarch to mount a coup d'etat. He is objectively one of the world's most prominent spreaders of misinformation, false narratives, conspiracy theories and outright lies, deliberately stoking civil unrest, like the time he tweeted a picture of migrants storming a hospital in Birmingham, and it turned out to be a still from one of the Batman movies.
Yeah. Do you remember that? They're just so pathetic, aren't they? They're just so pathetic. And it's no accident. People go out of the way to manufacture this propaganda and these lies that, oh, look at the left. Look, you know, if you've got to go to such lengths to try and critique your opponents, then why not look inward and just realise that you're full of shit and maybe your opinions might need some consideration or second thought. But would they do that? No.
Does being the richest person in the world make you the world's biggest arsehole? Or does being the world's biggest arsehole make you the world's richest man? Musk's wealth now exceeds that of the poorest...
Well, you know, being far from a saint himself, of course, there are unfortunately worse people than Elon Musk. It goes without saying.
3.8 billion people in the world combined. That's
no excuse
46%
for the sort
of the global population.
Right,
I'm not a religious man, but when I look at Elon Musk, I hope there is a heaven and a hell. I wonder if one day he'll realise that no bank balance, no matter how impressive, can guarantee you a place in heaven if you believe in it, or indeed shield you from everlasting nothingness if you don't. If we're lucky enough to live long enough, we are all destined to look back on our lives and be filled with a mixture of regret and gratefulness. I wonder, as death draws near many years from now, if Musk possesses... I am willing to bet all my money against all of his that Musk's God complex will suddenly evaporate, and all the voices that once hollered that Musk is the man.
Bit of buffering there again, sorry about that.
The man who tells it how it is, the self-made man who changed the world for the better, all those voices will fall silent, and the only voice left will be the sound of history itself scribbling into its notebook, "Here lies the worst human being that ever existed." Hats off to him, though. It's quite an achievement. Thanks, Steve. Well, not a bad day's work at the office, is it?
Still on tour there, Jonathon Pye with the end of the world tour. Book tickets at jonathonpye.com. If you want to check him out, I've seen him live. He's very good indeed. That's Tom Walker, and aka Jonathon Pye. Apologies for the early gremlins as we are.
As you can see, we're experiencing a minor technical difficulty here on my left eye. Our team of expertly trained As you can see, we're experiencing a minor technical difficulty here on my left eye. Our team of expertly trained technicians are working busily to restore the stream. In the meantime, please make sure that you've hit the thumbs up button harder than you'd like to hit Keir Starmer in the Ghoulies, and left a comment down below. Thank you.
And it started buffering during the technical difficulties video, if anything could get more ironic. We do need to completely reinstall the software. But we'll plough through. I'll keep going in my own particular sort of
Idiom, sir?
idiom. Yeah, Graham, on the subject of $1 trillion, imagine what you could do with that wealth and drastically change so many people's lives for the better. You could. I couldn't be a billionaire myself. I just wouldn't be able to forgive myself. Certainly not while there are so many problems in the world that you could resolve yourself and still be very comfortable, still be very wealthy. But these people are just obsessed. They're psychopathic in their endeavours, and the quest for an extra zero, despite what happens in society, goes on. And yeah, that's the only real word that you can use to describe such a mentality. Psychopathic. Certainly sociopathic.
Socialists. Oh my god.
On to the first item then. Let's get cracking with this Lisa Nandy interview on Laura Kussenberg. As I said earlier, I'm not a particular fan of Nandy's myself. She represents Wigan, Member of Parliament for Wigan here in the Northwest. She's also the Secretary of State for Culture and Sports and other things. But it begs the question, why is the Minister for Culture answering questions with regard to the defence spending plan? Not a good start. But we'll see how she gets on and how Kussenberg gets on. Should be okay now.
His exit was a dreadful moment for the Prime Minister, but the next 5 days could be decisive. Tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry about the buffering loop of death. We are fighting it. We will persist. We will not falter. We will not wane. We will stay and we will fight.
Morning, the Prime Minister is expected to announce that ban on some social media platforms for kids, partly a political effort to get back on the front foot. But by tomorrow night, he'll be in France with other world leaders at the G7. Watch out for awkward moments with Donald Trump, who's been railing against the UK over defence for some time. Wes Streeting, who also fancies his chances as Prime Minister, is making a big speech on Tuesday. And John Healey might make a box office intervention about his resignation from the backbenches. And then, of course, the big moment of the week, the by-election in Makerfield. If Andy Burnham wins, and it is an if, he hopes to be on his way to replace Keir Starmer in number 10. Well, we're joined this morning by the Culture Secretary, Lisa Nandy from Salford. Good morning to you, Secretary of State. Let's start with that Russian tanker that's just been seized in the Channel in the early hours of this morning. What can you tell us about what happened?
Well, this is the first of its kind, and as Al was just saying on the panel, we're very hopeful now that it will be replicated, not just by us, but by allies as well. The Prime Minister has wanted for some time to not just deal with the threat.
And again, why is the Culture Secretary answering very specific questions that is way outside of her department's remit? Defence. This is all about defence. What? Sorry? What does this have to do with theatres, live music venues, sports, this kind of thing? Nothing. Nothing at all. Except that it'll be those areas that the money's taken away from to fund these, as of course we know it's going to come from welfare, amongst other things.
Threat that Russia poses, but make sure we disrupt the financial footing on which the war is being fought in Ukraine. Part of that has been about action to deal with Russian assets here in the UK to make sure that the British people don't bear the full cost. But part of that has also been trying to do something that is really quite difficult and quite...
Do you think we want to go out to work every day, perhaps to be able to provide for ourselves and those that we care for, or do you think that we go out and work every day so that we can see Vladimir Zelensky slam some more Colombian marching powder up his nostrils at our expense?
Significant, and to disrupt these vessels that are passing through British waters as part of the shadow fleet carrying goods, particularly oil, which helped to fund the war in Ukraine. So it's a significant step forward, and I pay tribute to all of those people who, as Al said, were taking serious risks in order to do this while we were sleeping soundly in our beds.
OK, do you agree with the Prime Minister that Russia might attack NATO in 3 years or so?
Well, look, as I said to the Prime...
Yeah, are you that stupid, Lisa Nandy? Do you fall for this claim that the nation that has been bogged in the mire in Ukraine for longer than World War I lasted at this point will somehow swoop across Europe and needs to be stopped the same way that a certain other group of people did at the end of the 1930s, of course? I think it is an absolute insult to anyone's intelligence to try and make such claims as a defence for increase in defence spending, especially when we have 4 million children in poverty here in the United Kingdom.
Minister in the last couple of weeks, as we've been discussing the way we're going to move resources from departments like mine into meeting this moment on defence. He has seen information and been subject to security briefings that I haven't, and if he says...
And that just goes to bolster my point that she's the entirely wrong person to have in this interview.
That we have to increase our defences. If he says that the risks that we pose are that serious, then I don't just believe him.
And I'm not going to accept any of this. We've seen this thing that we're not going to show you, but you just have to believe us, because how many times have we heard that in the past? There was all the drama, the high tension, of course, after the World Trade Center attacks and the what happened on September 11th, 2001. And then George Bush goes on TV and issues just a general panic blanket alert, and we're going to have to introduce legislation like the Patriot Act just to take away more of your personal liberties. Because we've seen this information that something that we're not going to say what it is about to happen, and it's going to be carried out by people that we can't tell you at a time that we're not going to tell you either. But we need this money, or we need some of your personal liberties.
Support him, and we have a collective responsibility to rise to that moment. It's not just the responsibility of the new Defence Secretary, Dan Jarvis, or the Prime Minister, or the Chancellor for that matter. It's the responsibility of all of us to do what is the first duty of any government, which is to keep this country safe.
For John Healey, then, the responsibility is more than an extra 0.08.
Come on, Kussenberg. She clearly didn't directly answer the question there about whether she believes this claim or not. That was. Are you not going to follow that up? But she seems to be getting on to my point about the very minuscule amount that he seems to be quitting over.
% of national income on defence over
Secretary Dan Jarvis, or the Prime Minister, or the Chancellor for that matter. It's the responsibility of all of us to do what is the first duty of any government, which is to keep this country safe.
For John Healey, then, the responsibility is more than an extra 0.08% of national income on defence over 4 years. He was very clear to the
0.08 over 4 years. That's even worse.
Country, very publicly, that is nothing like enough. Is he wrong?
Well, we've got to do 3 things, and actually I think Al put it really well in his resignation letter. We've got to transform the way that we do defence spending to make sure that what we're spending is fit for the threats that we face now.
What are you talking about? From who? Who? I don't know if you know, Lisa. I'll give you a little fucking history lesson, like with lessons of sociology in there if you want. We haven't been invaded as an island for 940 fucking years, okay, with this hodgepodge of Germanic, Anglo-Saxon, Norse, and of course Norman French influence as well, following that most recent invasion, the old 1066, okay. About 500 years later we started to hold the world to the barrel of a gun, leading up to the Napoleonic Wars, when we had it out with France over who's going to be the superior nation in the world, and we did away with Napoleon not once but twice. There was a brief respite of about 100 years then before any major conflict, which was World War I. And we knew where the threat was coming from in that case, as we did, of course, in the sequel, World War II. Okay? And don't just make very broad, sweeping statements about Russia or China, or what are you even going to go so far as to say that we're going to be invaded by North Korea or someone like that. No, there is no risk of the UK being invaded. I don't buy this for 1 second. It's a load of bollocks.
Now and in the future, not just the threats that we faced in the past. We've got to significantly increase the amount that we're spending on defence, and we've already done that as a government. But since we published that Strategic Defence Review last year and reached the levels of funding...
I forgot to say Roman influence when I was going on my little rant there, in with the Germanic and Norse and all the rest of it. For anybody who was about to jump in chat, yes, I know.
That they had recommended, the threat level has changed and we've got to change accordingly. And finally, we've also got to make sure that we're investing in our broader national resilience, the sort of things that Al referenced in the letter, like economic security, like strong communities, strong public services.
And whoever briefed Lisa here said, and it's really important that you call him Al, you know, like we're all good friends here, not Alan. Make sure it's Al every single time. Good old Al, you can rely on Al. Sounds a lot more relatable and friendly, doesn't it? That's no accident that she's referring to him as Al.
young people who have hope that the future on offer is going to be worth working for and fighting for, and those things all have to be done at once. So although I really respect John, he is a fantastic...
I'll tell you what, I'll meet you halfway, so to speak. If whoever it is, and I'm pretty sure who you're hinting at strongest here, Nandy, if whoever it is manages to get through Poland, then yeah, give me a ring and then we might talk about the severity of the issue. But at the moment, you've got Russia, again, nowhere near overthrowing Ukraine. This thing is bogged down into a quagmire and has done for some years now.
Colleague.
And that's going to sweep through Europe in the next 4 years? No.
And I know he won't have taken this decision lightly. The challenge still remains that we have got to meet this moment and do all three of those things. And those of us who are in government are determined to achieve that.
But his point is...
Yeah, she had Paul Simon on the way over.
...that you are not achieving it. So will there be more money for defence?
Well, the Prime Minister's been clear with every single one of us in the Cabinet that we need to find more money for defence.
Clear?
But you've already had that conversation, and the final position... Forgive me, Lisa Nandy. We know that the Prime Minister went round the Cabinet saying everybody's got to stump up some more cash for this.
Sure.
The amount of extra money that he agreed was around £13.5 billion. Those in defence, including the now departed Defence Secretary and plenty of other people, believe that is simply not enough. So with the resignation of John Healey, the question is this weekend, will you, as a government, find more money than what has been agreed and rejected by John Healey in the last few days?
Well, I think this whole thing is a drama and has been orchestrated. I don't think it's a genuine resignation out of... revolt or whatever, that he can't get this fraction more. I think it's just orchestrated to try and justify putting it up by even more. Now, every department in government always wants more money, of course. Lisa Nandy herself will make that case. Where culture and the art is concerned, these things that don't concern defence. But why all this fuss now from John Healey? That's the only thing that I can think of, is that it's some sort of manufactured drama in order to try and justify further spending down the road.
Yeah, well, look, forgive me for pushing back on this, but I last spoke to the Prime Minister about this on Friday. I've spoken to the Chancellor this week as well. I'm having discussions with my own officials in my own department about the amount of funding that we make available. And we've got a new Defence Secretary who is looking at the Defence Investment Plan in its current draft form and having those discussions with the Chancellor and the Prime Minister as well. So I would just gently say to you, Laura, that is not correct, that these discussions are ongoing. We are looking very carefully at how we achieve it, because just to give you an idea in my own area, obviously one of the things that we've got to do is tackle the sources of mis and disinformation, which is actively harming our national resilience, and so things like funding the BBC.
Well, someone from the Labour government is looking down the lens of a camera and telling you, good people, that what they have to do is root out sources of dis and misinformation. Are you having that one? Are you having that one? Look who's talking. There's been so much dis and misinformation in this interview already as well. What complete rank hypocrisy.
Properly, it wouldn't make sense to cut that sort of funding in order to invest in defence, but there are other things that we're looking at.
So what you are clearly saying to us this morning...
Did Kussenberg do a massive sigh then? That wasn't me. There was definitely something there. Let's listen again.
Cut that sort of funding in order to invest in defence, but there are other things that we're looking at.
So what you are clearly saying to us
these
this morning,
conversations are not finished.
So
this
negotiation
is happening as we speak.
Yeah, forgive me for interrupting. I know it's tricky sometimes when you're down the line, but I just want to be really clear on this point.
Yeah.
So John Healey resigned because he was told by Downing Street that the Prime Minister's decision was final. You're now telling us that there are conversations happening to find more money, to increase the amount that was designed to be in the Defence Investment Plan. So there
Yeah, because of this staged drama, just like I said. Did you not figure that one out, Laura?
will be more cash.
Yeah.
And
Well,
how much more?
I don't want to dispute what John said in his resignation letter. He will have been acting in good faith. I know he will. He's a superb politician.
This is our fucking money. We've got a right to know. And where it's going to. And who it's being used to fight, apparently, from this new mega threat. There's always something else, isn't there? There's always the latest thing to be scared about.
And a good friend and colleague. But I can only tell you from my point of view, as somebody who is actively involved in these discussions, that these discussions are happening in real time. We have a new Defence Secretary who served on the front line himself and has been an outstanding security minister. And I know he wouldn't have taken the job unless he felt that we could meet this moment. And we are working together constructively in order to achieve that. It's not an easy thing, as I outlined, and certainly not something that the last government managed to come anywhere close to achieving, but the Prime Minister has been absolutely crystal clear. This is the first responsibility of any government, and we have to rise to meet this moment.
When it comes, though, to how you make those decisions, to govern is to choose, and one of your other colleagues, Wes Streeting, actually suggested this week online that you could make decisions in a much more straightforward way. It didn't have to be this difficult. He said on social media, and we're just showing it to people, Lisa, but I will read it so you can see it and hear it in case you didn't see it. He said there is not enough money for defence, but today the government announced £4.5 billion for walking and cycling. Make choices, decide and lead. Isn't the problem here?
What, take money away from creating walking and cycle paths and pour it into defence? That's, bright spark. Shut up Wesley Streeting's great idea.
That it's the resignation of John Healey that seems to have provoked Keir Starmer into action and finding more cash.
Well, I don't accept that, because the conversations that we had as a cabinet started some time ago and the Prime Minister led those. That was well before John decided to resign. I don't really understand the point that Wes is making, because only a few weeks ago he was the Health Secretary who was arguing for more money to be invested in the health of the nation. And I think it has to be possible to meet the commitments that we set out about people living healthy, longer lives and getting the treatment they need when they need it, and to be able to keep our nation safe. But I would also say that defence was one of, if not the biggest winner from both Rachel Reeves' first budget and from the spending review. And we accepted that as a cabinet because we know how important it is, and we know how underfunded defence has been for a really very long time. And Wes was part of the cabinet that accepted that and was part of those discussions. We have moved resources away from other priorities in order to fund defence, including one very well...
Well, we seem to be able to afford to be complicit in genocide. We seem to have enough money to do regular spy runs over Gaza at the behest of Israel and to manufacture weapons for them as well.
Publicised announcement around international aid, which led to a resignation from Cabinet of the International Aid Minister. And in that case, many people, including me, expressed private reservations about that decision. But the Prime Minister was clear that that was a decision that he was going to make, and a decision by which he would stand. So I don't accept the characterisation that difficult decisions aren't being made.
Okay. Well, we'll see where those negotiations end up. You've been very clear that the Prime Minister is now looking for more money beyond what John Healey had rejected. Let's move on, though, to another topic. We know it's really important to lots of people watching this morning, and we do expect the Prime Minister tomorrow morning to announce that some social media platforms will be banned for under 16s. We're also expecting there'll be sort of time limits or perhaps even curfews for teenagers on how much they can be on their phones. What can you tell us about that? Can you confirm that those two things are going ahead, being pretty widely reported now?
So I can't preempt the Prime Minister's announcement tomorrow, but I came on your show a while ago, Laura, and said that the consultation that we were running was how, not whether, we better protect children online. We know that there hasn't been enough in the way of regulation, and we know there are wider measures that are needed as well. I think what I can say to you is that the responses to the consultation were overwhelmingly clear. Not everybody wanted to see a social media ban for under 16s, but the vast majority of people who responded did. That came through from not just from parents and from campaigners. It did also come through from many young people themselves who are feeling that they're being pulled into something quite toxic at a very young age. And I think the biggest lesson for me from what's happened in Australia is that although a social media ban for under 16s doesn't stop young people going onto social media, some young people will find ways to get around it, and they will, but that it changes the presumption.
Well, it's virtually unpoliceable.
So that at the age of 8, 9, 10, 11, children aren't presuming that they're going to be in these spaces because all of their friends are, and that quite significantly changes the culture, which is why it's something that we've seriously considered as a government, and the Prime Minister will have more to say about that tomorrow.
But the evidence, though, as you said, actually from Australia, is very mixed, and some people who've been campaigning on this for a long time, including Ian Russell, who of course lost his daughter Molly, say actually you're rushing into something that is not sophisticated enough, that a blanket ban actually could have all sorts of unintended consequences. And he is, I have to say, dismayed, to use his word, about how this is all happening. I want to play you what he told us yesterday.
I can't imagine why he's rushed this announcement. There was a consultation which would have delivered good evidence on which to base new measures and what steps to take to most effectively protect young people. That consultation closed on, I think, the 26th of May. It's only been 3 weeks or so since then. He promised a group of bereaved parents that they would strive to come up with their announcement about what they would do by the summer recess. So he's rushed that forward for some reason. I can only imagine, and I can't think of a reason.
Kussenberg's extra serious concerned face going on there. She's really cranking it up.
By the summer recess. So he's rushed that forward for some reason. I can only imagine, and I can't think of a reason other than a political reason, you know, in connection with by-elections or for whatever reason. I can't imagine why you wouldn't take best use of that evidence. And if he's playing politics, what he's doing is gambling with young people's lives. And I find that deplorable.
I mean, what Ian Russell and some other campaigners believe is that you should do something that's more like tougher enforcement, something more sophisticated, and a blanket ban is just not going to work. What do you say to that?
Well, I'd say a couple of things. I mean, obviously, really respect his point of view, but respectfully disagree with some of what he said, because there is no one solution to this, and there has to be a basket of measures. One of the things we're announcing this morning is more investment into enrichment activities for young people, because if we're asking young people to get offline and get out of their bedrooms, there have to be places for them to go, and we've stripped away youth work, youth clubs, all of those places and spaces that young people used to go to.
Yeah, you have.
The experience in Australia showed part of the reason why it has been difficult for them to enforce it is because there weren't very tough age verification measures. So that's one of the things that we're looking at, and the Prime Minister will say more about tomorrow. But the final thing I would just say is that there is an urgency to this, because young people need help now, and we cannot stand aside and not act when we see that very clearly. And the tech companies have had more than enough time to get their own house in order and to be able to create products that keep children safe online. If they're not prepared to do it, they lose the right, frankly, to market their products towards children. And I don't think that the government should be neutral about that.
OK, listen, Andy, also in the last few days, the Prime Minister was asked if he will fight the next election.
Until, like the Zionists, they show up at your office with a large sack of cash and say, oh, maybe you might be persuaded to think this way instead.
You said that's what I'd like to do. It's very different to saying that's what I will do. Who would you like to see fight the next election as the Labour leader, Andy Burnham or Keir Starmer?
Sorry, a bit of buffering here before she answers this crucial question. I'll just sort this out.
As the Labour leader, Andy Burnham or Keir Starmer?
Well, if you cast your mind back a little while ago, I had a go myself a few years ago, but I think that is gone. I'll leave that sort of thing to Al, I think, from now on. But look, I think it's well documented. I am good friends with Andy Burnham, and the things that he's saying in Makerfield, next door to my town in Wigan, is very similar to what I've been saying over the last 17 years in elected politics. People need to be heard louder and clearer, but I don't think the public is in the mood for a lot of Labour introspection. I want us to win that by-election. It's not a given, despite what Richard says. He knows this part of the world very well. He used to live up here. We don't like being told what we think or what to do here. So people will go to the polls on Thursday and make their decision. And then we need to pull together as a team and get on with the very serious issues that we've just been talking about on your show.
OK, Secretary of State Lisa Nandy, thank you very much indeed for joining us in Salford after a tricky few days for the government. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Three of you, thank you.
Very poor indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Very poor indeed. From Lisa Nandy and Laura Kussenberg as well. Right, let's get rid of that. Things should improve henceforth. What did you make of that? Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching back later on. Yeah, I won't go in with any more post-analysis. Got a lot more to get through. I think I remember feelings clear as we watched the video there. So up next, a bit of an update, or just something to address really. You might have seen since Hannah Spencer appeared at PMQs, got up and asked a question, made the idiots behind her in Reform look completely embarrassed as she did so. But far-right trolls wrote in force to try and point out some what they thought was hypocrisy. People such as this numpty, we're going to see in a second. About what she was wearing. There are certain claims that she was wearing a designer blouse. Let's just see what's happening. Get this loaded. Yeah, apparently they have such a talent that they can spot designer labels just by sight. Obviously, a lot of them are more obvious than others. They might have the name of the brand sprawled over them, whatever it might be. But in this case, this particular numpty claims nothing says fight the wealthy elites quite like delivering the lecture in a Gucci blouse. We see you, she says, as Sarah Porchin behind her looks completely revolted at being called out for what she is, along with 30p Lee. You remember that incident from PMQs. So Hannah's responded to this, yes. She's provided an explanation to clear things up. Let's just take a look at that. Thanks, Herbie. Thanks, everyone. If I could just call for quiet just for a moment, please, everyone.
So this shirt that I wore in Parliament this week, I got it about 15 years ago from Oxfam when I volunteered at Oxfam Originals. I love it. But something phenomenal happened this week when I wore it at Prime Minister's Questions. It underwent a remarkable transformation. It went from being a charity shop find to apparently being a £2,000 Gucci shirt. At least that's what the establishment are saying. And wouldn't be like them to lie, would it? Why would they spread misinformation about me? Why would they do that? Why would they want to discredit me?
I wonder.
Anyway, to the charity shops, the vintage shops, anyone selling pre-loved stuff like this to find it a new home, thank you. To Costa Brava, that very well-known designer brand, thanks to you as well. And to everyone else, send me your stuff, because I know Jesus is out there turning water into wine, but hon, I'm out here turning charity shop finds into designer clobber, apparently.
Well done. Brilliant response from Hannah Spencer there. Yes. Well, that was a load of bollocks, wasn't it? But what do you expect from the far-right trolls? They're so desperate, aren't they? Well done.
Jurassic Park.
Herbie, thank you. It's like as if you would go into Parliament talking about wealth inequality, wearing a designer label. Moving on now.
On with it. Yes, get on with it.
Get on with it.
On to protest, and before we get on to the counter-protests against the far right that have taken place over the weekend, as well as the demonstrations against the Israeli arms fair, we're going to take a look at a couple of updates on the protests at Woolwich Crown Court this week, where, as I said earlier, of course, those 4 heinous sentences were passed down by Judge Johnson for the 4 of the Filton 25 protesters for taking action at Elbit Systems. Here's a clip from Defend Our Juries, of course, who famously hold vigils and protests against this in support of PAL action. This is just one of their official videos that they put out today. One of the sign holders, one of over 70 who were arrested outside Woolwich Crown Court, as hundreds of people showed up to support the defendants, as well as call out the injustice. And this particular sign holder puts the blame squarely at the feet of the current Prime Minister, Keith Starmer.
Bravo, we love you! Come with me.
What are you being arrested for?
Holding a sign, I believe.
A piece of paper?
Piece of paper, placard. in Starmer's Britain 2026? Yeah, I think this sets a very bad precedent for a reform government coming in, making people protesting genocide, doing very peaceful protests. They're going to find it very, very easy to demonise ordinary citizens when they get in. And this is Labour's fault. They've gone further than the Conservatives on this matter when it comes to locking up protesters. It's not good, so that's why we're out here.
Yeah, that's why they're out there. That's why there are over 70 arrests. There have also been thousands of arrests at other protests and vigils. Of course, you can go back through our video and live stream catalogue to find out more of our coverage from more of our coverage from those Defend Our Juries protests. Parliament Square, Trafalgar Square, and now at Woolwich Crown Courts. We were there following a smaller protest just a couple of months ago, so check it out. For now, we're going to hear some more from Craig Murray, who was down there outside Woolwich Court. A great documentarian in his own right, as well as provided excellent commentary and coverage from the very front lines of war zones and occupations such as Gaza. He's seen firsthand the atrocities that companies like Elbit Systems carry out. So he's just released this video, which was what happened leading up to the arrest starting as the police arrived. So let's see what's happening. I've not seen this clip yet myself. Definitely worth following. I've put a link to Craig Murray's website in the description if you'd like to go and check that out. So I'd be much obliged, and I'm sure that Mr. Murray would as well.
Here come the racist police!
Here comes our transport.
This is interesting. About 500 policemen here already. These are extra ones. Why they're needed, I have no idea, because there's nothing untoward is happening.
Look at that massive convoy of carriers. Yeah, having taken part in an action that helped to close down an oil refinery for almost 2 weeks, there weren't as many carriers at that as there were here. This is getting beyond ridiculous now in terms of the response from the police. Even further beyond ridiculous.
Smile, everyone.
I see Trudy Warner there, who, of course, we mentioned Trudy many times, famously arrested as Defend Our Juries first started as an organisation. She was famously arrested outside the Old Bailey for holding a placard which had words on it, the exact words in verbatim, that are on a large placard at the top of the stairwell in the Old Bailey itself. And obviously this then led on to supporting pal action. Can see quite a few familiar faces. We've obviously covered Defend Our Jury's protests in the past. A lot of these people are friends of mine as well at these protests. I'm a supporter of Defend Our Juries as well, of course. I wasn't there on this particular day, as you might have noticed. I won't name anybody else, of course, but I'm sure that Trudy won't mind me pointing her out there.
Hi there.
But solidarity to everybody who was there, I want to say as well. If any of you are watching, because I know that a lot of the friends I'm referring to are viewers of the channel, and of course friends of ours as well. Thank you very much for doing your duty in being there.
Hello again.
Thank you for being here. Are you coming, Mary?
I'm glad to be here.
And more people.
I can see people who have been arrested with myself here amongst these people.
Look, Craig.
There were well over 200 placard holders.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the work you've done. You've been brilliant.
Thank you, it's very kind of you.
Oh, that's so nice to see Craig Murray getting a lot of respect and recognition there from people. Like I said, of course, he's been there on the front lines himself. He has literally been under fire from the IDF. He's a brave soul. He's certainly an excellent journalist as well. Every credit to him.
This is impressive, isn't it?
It is impressive. And the
police are
extraordinary numbers of police. It's like they want to fight the Battle of Waterloo or something.
I know.
Very weird.
Where exactly are you? Okay, you're not on. So,
Hi there.
Yes, Graham, apparently these people are the biggest threat to society now, and I've actually paused that at another convenient spot because it was announced recently, in just last week, that the wearing of uniforms, NHS uniforms, at protests is going to be prohibited, and I've certainly marched and been on demonstrations in JSO with people who've chosen to highlight the fact that they're a nurse in that fashion. There have been specific doctor and nurse marches in other organisations as well, such as Extinction Rebellion, and of course, as you can see here now, obviously Defend Our Juries. And yeah, nurses and doctors, let's be honest, tend to have a pretty good moral compass most of the time, and exceptions, very, very rare exceptions aside, and it's awful to see them being treated and classified as terrorists simply for holding up a placard. Say it with me, people. What a time to be alive. This is Starmer's Britain 26.
Over there are to arrest people all the time. What a bloody good use of taxpayers' money.
I do get FOMO when I see these, I have to be honest. I wish I'd been there to show support.
Everyone's being arrested.
Yeah, I've got some friends who are there as well, but that's really helpful. Nice to see you again. See you well.
You know they're going to arrest them all.
Hello, Mr. Starmer. You're looking good today.
Such an incredible turnout. When we were there a couple of months ago, it was now, it was a very small silent vigil with just half a dozen sign holders. I was just one of two press members, filmers, YouTubers, whatever you'd like to call us there as well. These numbers are amazing. But this is a very significant case. It's a very significant moment in societal history, in legal history as well. Like you're pointing out there in the chat, JK, yeah, if there is a future, then can you imagine in, 100, 200 years' time, historians looking back and, as you say, study the ridiculous actions from the British and German governments enabling genocide prior to major wars. How can we, as a nation, justify or explain this? It's impossible, because there is no justice here. As Tyrion Lannister once said, if you're looking for justice, you've come to the wrong place.
I can see they're moving in. Yeah, they're certainly going to arrest. We've appealed to their good nature. It didn't work, so... No.
Good man, I got that on camera. That's excellent.
Really, so we were just talking about what you said about the appeal and whether it's been set up. You know, do you have a view about what's going to happen?
What was that there? Sorry, I'll just skip this back. There's a bit of recognition going on there, I think.
Read your blog, it's fantastic.
Oh, I think he said I've read your book. Oh, read your blog. It's fantastic.
Good man, I got that on camera. That's excellent.
Really, so we were just talking about what you said about the appeal and whether...
Well, go and check out Graham Murray's blog. I'll give him a free plug for that, certainly, as well. Let's hear a bit about this. I'll turn the sound up. We can pick out this conversation.
It's been set up, you know, do you have a view about what's going to happen on Monday?
I'm not optimistic personally. We will see.
How could they do it? It would look so embarrassing.
I think he's just asking what Craig... This was obviously before the sentencing was read out. He was asking what his predictions were and how optimistic he was feeling.
It's very difficult. The rather narrow path in the High Court judgment was narrow, but was extremely strong on freedom of assembly in particular. So it's very hard to see how you overturn that. And basically, the route to overturn it is they say this was a democratic decision from a democratically elected parliament. It's not for the courts to decide. And that's what I think they will say. But
This is unprecedented. Of course, we have this in hindsight now. The fact that this sham of a trial happened in the first place after, let's remind you, the defendants were twice acquitted by respective juries, and also new measures being brought in to be able to provide longer sentences as well, just with the word special attached to it, which might just be because Keir Starmer says so, which means because Benjamin Netanyahu says so, probably as well. And another quick reminder, there's a link to Craig Murray's website in the description of this stream. Please do go and check it out.
we will see. It'll then, whoever wins will go to the Supreme Court anyway, so this is like a stage on the way. But I just lost all belief in the court system.
Using the argument of democracy
to
completely abolish democracy.
Well, precisely. I'm in trouble with that argument. Is you're saying that basically people decide to elect a fascist government.
Vicky Clee, nice to see you, sister. Solidarity this Socialist Sunday.
Then the courts would enforce whatever fascist, because it's state democracy. You know, that's not to mention the fact, of course, that in our system governments get elected with 32% of the votes of people voting, and so, yeah. Anyway, sorry, me. Carry on. It's actually very impressive when you walk along and video it all.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Murray.
Hello there.
It's Matt. We met ages ago at the Palestine Film Festival last 2 years ago.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that.
I think I still have your number. How long are you in
Seen a lot of people who I know him. He's got his hand over the lens. I think.
UK for, or down here?
I'm only down here for another hour, basically.
Oh, right, okay.
And I'm going back to Edinburgh.
Is that the police?
When you back down again, do you know?
I don't come down. I come down as little as I possibly can.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I need to introduce my documentary. I've got all my interviews done bar 3. You're one of them. It's called Manufacturing Consent Britain's Role in the Gaza Genocide.
Right, yeah, I'd be very happy to do it. But as I say,
let me just check.
promise when I'll...
I'm just trying to think if I recognise the voice of the person. It's not a policeman. It's a fellow documentarian, as you heard there. But I do recognise the voice. There's a lot of people I know in this clip, I've got to be honest, but I've only mentioned Trudy Warner because I'm sure that she won't mind being named, of course.
Be here.
I'm not a king grass or anything, you know.
You can come to Edinburgh, it's a lovely place.
I would love to. There you go, Craig Murray. Is that how your number ends?
Yep, that's it.
Wonderful. I'll drop you a message. Do you use WhatsApp or is it just...
I do use WhatsApp.
Okay, fantastic.
And I'll be happy to do the documentary.
Thank you so much.
What a nice guy. What a really nice guy. Yeah, sure. You know, can you imagine his diary? And straight away, he was more than happy to oblige. What a guy. What a guy. You got to take your hat off to Craig or anything.
Yeah, can do. Yeah. Hello, yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
All right, see you later.
Saving lives is not terrorism. Absolutely. Great to see that insight there. Shout out again to Craig Murray. Do hit that link in the description to go and see more on his website. Solidarity once more with everybody who was present outside Woolwich Crown Court earlier this week. And of course, shame on Judge Johnson for those severe sentences, the harshest of which given to Sam Corner. 8 years and 8 months following jumped up video footage. The truth of the matter is, it was a security guard who came at the protesters with a sledgehammer, and in attempting to stop themselves being hit as the security guard was swinging away with his sledgehammer, they inadvertently injured a policewoman. That's the way it went down. The footage was then spliced, and it was made to look as though Sam specifically was assaulting said officer with the sledgehammer. It was totally jumped up. The video footage which would have absolved him, which would have proved his innocence, conveniently for the prosecution went, air quotes, missing, and instead they were served up an absolute fantastical non-representation of what really happened that day in that Elbit Systems weapons factory. 8 years and 8 months. Completely unjustifiable. Well, Graham, the nation should hang its head in shame, yeah? Keir Starmer certainly should. Shabana Mahmood certainly should. And her predecessor, Yvette Cooper, most certainly should as well. And I think what that arrestee who we saw in the clip just before Craig Murray there, what he said is absolutely bang on as well. That if you can imagine such a possibility, that Labour have actually been worse than the Tories were actually against protesters is concerned. And believe me, yeah, as someone who was out taking non-violent direct action for years under the Tories, and now continuing to take non-violent direct action, as well as film and document it, what we've seen recently certainly is comparatively worse. Ah. All right. There's more protest footage to come, and much to talk about as well.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We can dig. The way that communities have come out once again to stand up against the far right in large numbers all across the country. So from hanging our heads in shame, we can now raise our heads and, of course, raise a fist in the air in solidarity with some excellent turnouts against essentially flag-waving Nazi dickheads. And one thing that should be put to Benjamin Netanyahu is how he feels about Israeli flags always being present at fascist marches. What's that all about? Surely. Yeah. Him being a not fascist, wink, says it all though. And these are the kind of idiots that I'm referring to. I think this is from the Brighton. No, sorry, I think the Glasgow counter demonstration or counter demonstration, whichever way you look at it. You can't really refer to the far right thing as any sort of proper demo or protest. It's just pure thuggery, isn't it? But these are the kind of... Well, just a second. Just reload this. Yeah, sorry, it's been a bit of a sloppy stream so far where technical issues are concerned. So look at this prick.
I got it that time.
Not sure who the original poster of this clip was, but... And right in front of a police officer as well. Now, come on. That should be a crime, really. It's a crime in other countries. And they call themselves patriots. Fucking Nazis. As you can hear people shouting in the background there. What a tosser.
I got it that time.
But as you saw there, particularly small, not just in IQ, but also in number, and right across the country. These people were turned away en masse. Now take a look at this, people. Chief flag shagger himself, Ryan Bridge, showed up with a small amount of demonstrators in Brighton, and this shot taken from an elevated position, brought to us by Mukhtar. I don't know if any of you follow Mukhtar on social media, really is incredible. As a wave of thousands of people come down the streets and literally run Ryan Bridge out of town. this really was a good show. Let's see what's happening. So it's a split screen you can see on the left. So perhaps the first 2 rows of people that you can see there is the far right demonstration. And then just look behind as this, like I said, this wave of people. And the police and other people just have to keep shoving him down the road because he's completely outnumbered and overwhelmed. What a awesome turnout from the counter-protesters. Let's see what's happening. So that's him down at the front. You can see in the white t-shirt with the raise the dickheads, whatever it's called, raise the colours thing there.
You! Get out!
There he is.
Fuck you! Get out! Fuck you! Off our street! Off our street!
Then look how many people are there, man. Well done, Brighton. Look at this. I have no fucking chance. You've got no fucking chance, dickhead. He punched a woman in the face. And some clips you've seen there, Graham. First one, he pushes a woman in the face, and the second one, he gets punched in the mouth. Well, I know which one of those I'd prefer. Not surprised, though, considering who we're talking about. That's fantastic. I just want to see that again, just the first part. That's, I mean, it's outnumbered literally by 1,000 to 1. Is that close to... Well, the reason bridges went was obviously Brighton on the coast. It was supposed to be a stop the boats thing. Yeah, which is the reason he chose Brighton. Maybe you should have stayed at home, Ryan.
Get out! Fuck you! Fuck you! Get out! Fuck you!
Yeah, those people around him, they're his own security, aren't they, Graham? He's got his own, I don't know, you know, basically to stop him getting torn apart by a baying horde. Maybe, maybe not. Non-violently, of course.
Get out! Fuck you! Off our street! Off our street! Off our street!
Magnificent. Now, let's be honest, we've seen some really poor examples of how certain members of British society have conducted themselves recently, referring to Southampton, of course, these other awful and pitiful, pathetic demonstrations being carried out by the far right over the last couple of weeks. This is certainly a lot more refreshing And yeah, it's easy to think sometimes when you see those scenes in Southampton and when you see politicians on TV ebbing away at our right to protest, it, you know, is easy to feel somewhat defeatist. But no, we should always stay positive, and this is really great to see. This is a lot better what we've seen this weekend in terms of the turnout and people just saying no, this will not stand, because this does not represent the country. These pathetic demonstrations that the far right are carrying out. It's a minority view, fortunately. Yeah, and it's good to see that people are still willing out to show up and run them out of town. It wasn't just in Brighton as well. We're going to see another example here from up in Scotland, in Glasgow. And again, apologies, I'm not sure who the original poster these next couple of clips was. You'll certainly get a kick out of the second one that I'm going to show you. The first one is just a view of the, again, relatively low numbers of far-right idiots who showed out in Glasgow, and the counter-protests. That's the counter-protests. You can see against, what would you say there? 40? Maybe 40-ish. And they've only got one flag, and it's an Israel flag. We don't like immigrants. Let's wave a foreign flag. We know what point we're trying to make. We know what we're talking about. Oh.
Very poor indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Any Scots in chat? There must be, surely. Give us a shout out. Yori Gibson, nice to see you in the chat. Although, yeah, sorry to hear the news there. You'd just seen your Lebanese brother being bombed before your eyes in the small town, and his family. 29 members. Oh, that's... Really? That's terrible. That's terrible. Deepest sympathies and condolences, Yori. Yeah, this... Wow. And when was that? This week? That's unbelievable. 29 members. We'll be, discussing more about Israel's appalling war crimes later on in the stream. For now, though, Yuri, you've got all of our deepest solidarity and condolences again. Really sorry to hear that news, brother. Terrible. Can we please, as Graham's rightly doing there, show some support for our brother in the chat, please, everybody. I'm going to need a minute after that, I think, people. Yeah, we'll come back to Glasgow and the other protests in just a moment. I just need a quick minute because that's incredibly sad news. That is. I'll be right back with you in just literally 1 minute. I've just got to get myself together here because that's that really is tragic. Okay, people, we'll get through this. We will get on to Middle East matters as well. Okay. All right, there was a very swift change of mood, change of atmosphere. And let's, in light of that bad news that we just heard about, try and stay positive. Because this was the response from the counter-protest in Glasgow, which again, similar to Brighton, but in a bit of a different fashion, was certainly impressive. So what happened just prior to this video? Again, this isn't our footage. Not sure who to credit, who the original pollster was, but prior to this clip, the far right tried to break free through the police line. There were, what did we count earlier, about 40, maybe 45 of them. They completely and utterly failed, which led to this response from the counter-protests in Glasgow, which hopefully will raise a smile. Listen up, it's something to listen out for. There it is. Skip forward to the best bit. Get it fuck. 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 Well done, Glasgow. Very well done. Very well done, Glasgow. There are also large turnouts in Liverpool, I believe. Lots of counter demonstrators. We've covered how the far right have turned up and massively failed in Liverpool recently as well. In our other video content, do check that out as well. So solidarity with everybody showed out across the country. and we'll now get on to, things in the Middle East. But also, unfortunately, how Zionists and Zionism is allowed to run rampant in this country, and one of the most disgusting elements of this has been this weekend in London on Edgeware Road, if you want to be more specific. We've seen Zionists in town, and they're here to sell the land that they've stolen. Yes, it's a real estate convention, as they'd try and call it. This is the land that they've annexed from the West Bank and Gaza, and they've come to London to try and sell it. Now imagine if you held a massive sale or convention or auction or whatnot made up of stolen cars. Certainly there would be some legal consequences because of that, but no, apparently you can annex entire countries and sell off the land or the property that you've illegally seized. We're going to find out some more of the details from a really good short article here from the Middle East Eye, this report. Solidarity with Middle East Eye.
I'm near the Edgeware United Synagogue, where people have gathered to protest against the great Israeli real estate event being held inside. Rights groups, activists, and more than 100 British MPs have been calling on the UK government to cancel the event due to its connection to illegal Israeli settlements in occupied Palestine. In fact, a list of companies participating in the event that was posted by a sponsor earlier this week included at least 4 groups who advertise properties or have been directly involved in the construction of projects in illegal Israeli settlements.
I'm a journalist and activist working in the West Bank in occupied Palestine, but currently we're in London. But today has been very familiar to me because we are surrounded by a bunch of Zionists who are counter-protesting and attacking people. And half an hour ago, a bunch of activists, Palestinian activists, got attacked by the Zionists and then got arrested. And this is very reminiscent of everything that I see in the West Bank when the settlers attacked the Palestinians and then the Palestinians are arrested. So there is a real, I feel like I've been here before.
I'm a Jew, a practicing and very proud Jew who sees what's going on between Israel and the Palestinians as an abomination of Judaism.
What we know this event is land theft. They are trading land to explicitly only a Jewish population in order to organize settlers to move to their apartheid state. And in the International Jewish Anti-Zionist Network, we say this is a disgrace to Jewish history of resistance against fascism and racism. They are the fascists, they are the racists, and we will stand for a moment while they trade in Palestinian land. What the government should have done is place sanctions upon the whole of the state of Israel, but also the organisers of this atrocious event. I hope the British government also hold to account the synagogue who hosted this event. Because the synagogue is a registered charity. That means they are getting gift aid, it's tax deductible. They are hosting war criminals in there, in a religious building. That is a disgrace to the notion that it is a spiritual place.
Certainly is. Another shout out to the Middle East Eye. That great report, and one plucky protester actually made it inside and was able to disrupt the event. We've got some footage here now. There were other arrests amongst the crowd outside, as you heard in that report as well. We've got some footage of that to share with you after this excellent disruption, which was carried out in both English and Hebrew, I believe, just in case anybody there missed the point.
I'm working in Israel. You can be exempt from the income tax.
I believe the protester was Jewish, is Jewish.
This event sells property in illegally occupied stolen Palestinian land. They come and field and they seize them and houses and they tell them, have you not read? Galatic Zone, have you not read that? This is an illegal event. Sanctions now. Sanctions Assad. The kibush לא חוקי. Sanctions Assad. Sanctions now. The kibush לא חוקי.
Go back to your mental asylum. Come on. Get out of here.
The kibush לא חוקי. The kibush לא חוקי. לא תגזול. לא קראתם. לא תגזול. They go to field and they seize them and houses and they take them. לא קראתם. לא תגזול. זה לא חוקי. לא חוקי. סנקציות על החברות כאן עכשיו. They sell property in the occupied West Bank. זה לא חוקי. סנקציות עכשיו. Sanctions now. זה לא חוקי. כיבוש לא חוקי. לא תגזול. They cover fields and they seize them and houses and they take them. זה לא חוקי. זה לא חוקי. Shut this event down. Sanctions now. Sanctions on the company.
Excellent. Excellent. Well done, that man. And he represents the majority view, most Jewish communities, who were appalled to see such things carried out in their name, of course. Zionism is not Judaism. We've got some more footage here from counter demonstrations. I believe, again, there was a small amount of people that showed up to support the Zionist war criminal regime. And as we saw earlier, of course, they were outmatched and outnumbered significantly. So just a couple of short clips here as an example. The second one, excuse me. The second one's from the Canary, which shows some other arrests as well.
That was a snooker ball that just came across. Sorry, they just lobbed a snooker ball across me.
They threw a snooker ball. A snooker ball. Yeah, again, like it said in the other clip, how can a synagogue, of all places, host such an event, which represents, of course, death, destruction, the theft of land? It's appalling, and I guess it's just an attempt to legitimise it. That's how they try and, air quotes, legitimise this, or morally launder it, if you want to put it that way, but it's a very poor effort, and it doesn't get past my left eye. Let's see some more. This is the Canary.
You guys, what are you doing? He was not attacking people. He was being attacked. He was being attacked. Why are you being so harsh on him? We're a peaceful prayer group. We're a peaceful prayer group. They're arresting a Jewish man, a peaceful Jewish man who was in peaceful prayer. They are currently arresting.
Oh, what? You mean you thought it couldn't get worse than what we saw outside Woolwich Crown Court this week? Well, it can. They've arrested a Jewish man whilst he was praying, no less. Let's expect Keir Starmer to be on TV very first thing Monday morning condemning this clearly anti-Semitic action by the Met Police.
What are you arresting them for? What are you arresting him for? Why are you putting your hands? Why are you arresting a Jewish person who's about to pray?
That's disgusting. That is revolting. Shame on the Met, yet again. The reputation's going further down the drain. It's in the gutter, it's in the toilet. As far as I'm concerned, that was another disgusting example of British policing there. Yori, you're also pointing out a lot of the dirty money that's flying about, especially within sports as well. Yeah, the influence, it's all over the place. You've mentioned the Premier League there as well, and also Formula One. Max Mosley and, yeah, Bernie fucking Eccleston have been taking Israeli money for 5 decades, and they have sold to Liberty Media, who are a Zio-Christian Trump/Kushner kind of organisation. Yeah, it's a real dirty circle, isn't it? And it's not just sports and real estate that they seem to be concerned with as well. This also goes into politics and elections and election fraud as well, or that is influencing elections. And a French TV news station have done a report on this. I'm going to show you a clip in a very short moment. It really is difficult to say just how disgusting it is that this influence goes so deep that it does. Considering the fact that this is a relatively small country that's halfway around the world, how can they somehow magically seem to have so much influence over Western politicians, and potentially, as this report says, election results themselves? Let's see what's happening. This is in French, but it's subtitled here for anybody who doesn't parler français.
On en vient à l'œil du 20h. On vous a beaucoup parlé des tentatives d'ingérence russe dans les campagnes électorales, ici en France ou en Allemagne. Mais les Russes ne sont peut-être pas les seuls. Le parquet de Paris a ouvert une enquête pour faire la lumière sur une éventuelle ingérence d'une entreprise israélienne qui aurait visé plusieurs candidats insoumis aux dernières municipales. De quoi parle-t-on? Julien Cholin, Arnaud Miguet, Valentin Stocker et Chloé Duval ont enquêté.
Une femme voilée appelant à voter LFI quelques heures avant le scrutin. Un blog accusant Sébastien Delogu d'agression sexuelle. Des messages compromettants attribués à David Guiraud à Roubaix. 3 candidats LFI aux élections municipales ciblent de fausses informations propagées sur Internet. Derrière certaines d'entre elles, la piste d'une ingérence étrangère. L'enquête des services français mène en Israël et dévoile un nouveau mode opératoire pour tenter de manipuler des élections en France. Début mars à Marseille, alors que le visage de Sébastien Delogu s'affiche sur les murs de la ville, des QR codes font aussi leur apparition. Ils renvoient au blog d'une certaine Sophie, présentée comme victime sexuelle du candidat insoumis.
Il ne demandait pas, il ne négociait pas, il prenait.
Écrit-elle. De fausses informations selon les services français, qui alertent aussi David Guiraud à Roubaix. Des captures d'écran attribuées aux candidats sont apparues sur Internet, comme celle-ci, où il semble commander une quantité de drogue. Une tentative de salir sa réputation, estiment les agents français. Dès le mois de mars, les services sont formels. Des ingérences numériques étrangères sont en cours à Marseille, Toulouse et Roubaix. Une campagne malveillante, écrivent-ils, cherchant à altérer l'information des citoyens. 3 candidats identifiés comme des défenseurs de la cause palestinienne. Très vite, les enquêteurs remontent jusqu'à une entreprise spécialisée dans ce genre d'opération.
Donc une société privée basée en Israël et qui est spécialisée dans la vente de prestations, d'opérations de déstabilisation. Ce prestataire, il a mis en place un réseau de plusieurs noms de domaine et de comptes sur les réseaux sociaux. Et il a visé à en particulier cibler le parti LFI ainsi que plusieurs de ses candidats.
Alors, que sait-on de cette entreprise ? Les enquêteurs identifient d'abord une entité nommée Blackcore, conçue pour l'ère moderne de la guerre de l'information, précise son site internet. Elle se vante de disposer de 1600 faux comptes sur Facebook, TikTok ou Instagram pour mener à bien ses opérations de déstabilisation. Comme l'ont révélé nos confrères de Libération et du journal israélien Haaretz, Blackcore utilisait les ressources de 2 autres sociétés israéliennes, SNI et Galacticos. Nous avons tenté de rencontrer le représentant légal de l'une d'entre elles à son siège social de Tel Aviv. Sur place, aucune trace de l'entreprise. L'adresse est celle d'un cabinet d'avocats.
Celui que vous cherchez n'est pas là. Il est parti en vacances.
Mais Galacticos, c'est bien ici ?
Oui, mais moi, je ne peux pas vous répondre là, maintenant, ou faire une interview.
Contacté, l'homme n'a pas donné suite, mais il a publiquement nié avoir été informé de l'opération. Pour ce journaliste israélien qui a enquêté sur l'affaire, difficile d'identifier les véritables commanditaires. Est-ce que le gouvernement israélien pourrait être à l'origine de cette campagne ?
C'est très compliqué de répondre à cette question parce que Israël a déjà été pris en flagrant délit de désinformation, mais jamais en période électorale. Et puis oui, ces entreprises, elles sont remplies de gens qui ont eu une expérience dans l'armée israélienne ou les services de renseignement. Mais ça ne signifie pas pour autant qu'ils travaillent pour le gouvernement.
Même si les autorités françaises estiment que l'opération n'a eu qu'un faible impact sur le scrutin, une enquête judiciaire a bien été ouverte et un rapport des services devrait être publié dans les prochains jours. Rapport très attendu par LFI, qui espère s'en servir pour faire annuler l'élection à Toulouse.
Turns out the French TV news stations have more balls than what we've got in the UK when it comes to calling out Israel, of course. An excellent report there from France. And that's how they do it. Spreading misinformation. Of course, on certain platforms, Elon Musk is more than happy to let them do that. Of course, they, as we've discussed at length, have massive influence over British politics as well. Sorry for seeming a little out of sorts on this evening's stream. A few technical issues, etc. Thanks for sticking it out with us. Make sure you've hit thumbs up. But of course, we are endeavouring to resolve these issues post-haste. For now, let's raise our spirits with a second comedy clip, this time from Michael Spicer. There's a link in the description as always. Do go and subscribe. It's about the World Cup.
Go out. The English dream is over.
We need somebody to steady this ship. Will you take the England caretaker role, Gareth?
Well, if you'll forgive me, this ship doesn't need steadying. It needs radical reformation. We need to turn this ship into a soaring plane.
Puff, puff. Oh, what's he saying? I don't understand. Puff, puff, puff.
Now, are there any questions? Yes, Gareth, a lot of people are asking about whether you're the right man for the job. Because with all due respect, you've won nothing as a manager. What went wrong with England, Wayne? No one wants to play for fucking England anymore. None of the fucking players have that fucking drive that you had in your fucking day. And that's a fucking fact, and you ain't gonna fucking change it, Gareth. No one is. I'm Wayne Rooney. Wayne, why are you swearing all the time? Because I'm a working class northern character in a BBC drama made by middle class people. Oh, see. Fuck.
So there is a drama coming out about Gareth Southgate, the former England manager, of course now managed by the German Thomas Tuchel.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming to my talk about workplace culture or something. We must always face up to our fears, because if we don't, we're only fearing our fears. And you mustn't fear your fears, because the fear you fear will fuel the fear of your fear. How would you like to be a two-dimensional female character in a BBC drama that's mainly about me going, yeah, sure, whatever. Great, here's your lanyard. See you Monday. Who here knows about the Knights of the Round?
I believe it's, is it Joseph Fiennes who's playing Gareth Southgate in the drama? If you've heard about this, confirm or let me know in the chat.
Round table. What's he talking about, Harry? Be quiet. Let the gaffer talk. Thanks, Harry. Harry Kane. No problem, gaffer. King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table were brave, honourable, decent men, driven by one common and noble goal, to bring home the Holy Grail. And right now, I see a lot of knights in this room who want to bring home their Holy Grail. I don't understand what you mean, gaffer. It's a metaphor. What's a metaphor? What's a metaphor? Have you been watching this drama? It's just one clunky metaphor after another, interspersed with close-ups of me wobbling my head, even though Gareth Southgate never does that. You do look like him, though. Thanks, Harry Kane. No problem, gaffer. Now go out there and claim your Holy Grail, lads, because tonight we're bringing it home for England. Yay!
Sweet Caroline at the end. Very good from Michael Spicer as always. I've not even, seen the thing that he's taking the piss out of. But obviously I know Gareth Southgate and whatever, and the BBC's reputation. Where dramas are concerned, go and check out Michael Spicer's YouTube description. Link in the description. Very good ending. Woo! Another quick update, just where football's concerned, apparently, due to boycotts. Ireland versus Israel will be played in front of nobody. Yeah. So a great success where the boycott's concerned. And Yoria, don't worry about that one, of course, completely understandable given the circumstances. Well, a quick reminder as well, just make sure that you don't watch any of the matches taking place in the continental United States of America. I don't have to explain why, of course. But I do have to say thanks yet again to the 102 members that we have on the channel, and whoever you choose to support us, we wholeheartedly, genuinely appreciate it. Super chat, super thanks, super stickers included, of course, and the contributions that come in from the Buy Me a Coffee page as well. You'll find the link for that in the description of any content on the channel. And if you'd be so good as to open some of our non-stream content on a mobile device, hit thumbs up, and then gift us some hype points when it prompts. It won't cost you anything. You get the hype points for free, and you get a new quota every week. So with it being a Sunday, you might as well splurge on My Left Eye. Thank you very much, everybody, for all of your contributions. Some breaking news just dropping in chat. Roy Hattersley, former Member of Parliament Roy Hattersley, has bought the farm, kicked the bucket. He's pushing up the daisies and singing to the choir invisible. Well, that's some incredible breaking news just coming in as we get towards the end of the stream. Doc, thank you very much for that update. Spluttering Roy Hattersley. Well, he goes back to the 80s, I think, doesn't he? So, not sure how old he would have been. Might have a sneaky look, actually. Let's just see if I can bring you a couple of tidbits of information just on that breaking news as we go. Let's see what we've got. '93. Wow. Yeah. It's some old age. And there you have it. Roy Hattersley, dead at 93. Didn't think that's how we'd be ending the stream, if you'd have let me guess before we started. But we'll go into Keith's Fondue Lounge nonetheless, as that breaking news comes in. Final thanks to sorry, laughing at something else. Final thanks to Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics for providing the jazz in the background, as they do every Sunday. Catching you next week. To the lounge, people. Yeah, I've seen some of the clips of those old spitting image sketches, and he was just literally spraying as he spoke every time. It's hard not to envisage that particular representation of him. So, by the next time we visit the Fondue Lounge, we'll know if Andy Burnham could potentially be making a leadership challenge towards Keith. Of course, the Makerfield by-election comes on Thursday. We'll be providing final updates on the Brews at 10, of course, throughout next week, so make sure that you hit the notification button and you don't miss out on any future content. Graham, solidarity and thanks for that super chat. Let's big up Graham, please, everybody. Show that some appreciation from here as well. Keep resisting, whoever you all can, of course. 100% agree with that sentiment. Thanks again for that generous contribution, Graham. We are going to be raiding as well. Let's see where that's going to be. I think Vicky said earlier she was heading over to see Helena. Let's see if Helena's still live. Indeed. So yeah, that's where we'll be heading, and in conversation with Kevin Logan as well. Shout out to Kevin Logan. Definitely worth subscribing to also. So when we do land, yes, hit thumbs up and all the supportive buttons for Helena at No Justice. Thanks for all your contributions in the chat. Of course, all that remains for me is to wish you a fine evening. I've been your humble host, Lefty. This has been the Sunday live stream on My Left Eye. Free Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan and Yemen. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Don't watch the news, be the news. And My Left Eye will be seeing you very soon. Good night. Solidarity, everybody.
It's what Hitler and Goering did, and it is textbook. And if you think the next time it happens, we're gonna recognize it because they're wearing scary uniforms, you're out of your damn mind.